Staying with us, reviewing Punch now. PDP others urge talks as presidency defend bills. Picture here of the story Mariam took earlier. EFCC 753 duplex estate hides ex-government top shot's identity. Tears as custom officer wife 4 children die in Osun fire. Ajayi to appeal ruling upholding Aida Tiwa's deputy's candidacy. FG protests Nigerian Army's probe on ICC. Minimum wage in Wifuru films as 3 states and AFCC grounded. Low-income earners can withdraw total retirement savings, says PenCom. And FG auditors probe NNPCL's 2.7 trillion naira subsidy refund claim. Okay,
Let me take the human interest story. So the family of Kehinde Oduse has called on the police and other relevant authorities to probe the attack on their son, his wife, and children by suspected arsonists at the Ita Maroon community in Ibejuleki area of Lagos. So this is a very sad story. They said this family of 4 were set ablaze in the early hours of their home. This Mr. Kehinde with his wife, a 22-year-old lady, Eniola, 2 children, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, were sleeping. The husband had earlier opened up the window to allow for ventilation, and about 2 a.m., some unknown persons came around and started pouring petrol around their apartment. And when they noticed that the window was open, they also poured it into the room. The wife woke up from the smell and, woke her husband up. And while they were trying to figure out what was happening, they set that house ablaze. The wife and 2 children sadly passed on. The husband is battling for his life in hospital. The family are asking for proper investigation because from what they have been told now is that it's a cult, it was a cultist arrangement, maybe cultist gangs or something, but they do not believe that that is the case. They think that they should further investigate this and bring justice to this family.
Because he's a customs guy, so there's a possibility that maybe he's one guy that is investigating or maybe carrying out the raids or, detain some people that were carrying illegal.
More likely.
More likely. So, and they just targeted him. Really sad.
The AG story. So the Attorney General and the Minister for Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, saying, as the Office of the Prosecutor at the ICC, that's the International Criminal Court in The Hague, Netherlands, to stop the prolonged investigation of the Nigerian military. He did this through his special advisor to the President on Communication and Publicity, Office of the AGF, and Minister of Justice, Kamaruddin Ogundele. That was yesterday. He stated it that the 23rd session of the Assembly of States Parties to the Rome Statute and the ICC in The Hague stated that Nigeria at the global stage had demonstrated the will to promote justice and end terrorism, among other global crimes. And he said they respect the court's mandate to intervene when states are unable or unwilling to prosecute such crimes. It is important to emphasize that there must be respect and regard to the principle of complementarity. The ICC is meant as a court of last resort, but Nigeria as a country are already intervening on national legal systems and are able, and they are not unwilling to address grave crimes within the country. And they, of course, re-emphasize that at the 22nd session of the Assembly, Nigeria reported the establishment of an independent special investigative panel by the National Human Rights Commission to address the allegations against the Nigerian military by Reuters. They said that the continuous prolonged investigation is demoralizing our military officers to continue the fight and who are on the field to continue the fight. And so this continuous investigation over 8 months, and they've not found any evidence to substantiate any claims against us. The allegations of killings and torture and recruitment of underage fighters have proven to be false and exaggerated. And continuing it without an end will continue to demoralize our soldiers who are on the field. So they're asking that it is stopped. And I hope that our case is well put.
Yeah, so the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation has received the necessary and complete documents required to verify the 2.7 trillion fuel subsidy claim by the NNPCL against the government. This is according to the Punch reports. And they said the Procurement Department of Finance Ministry obtained the terms of reference and the scope of work to guide the process of hiring the external firm to support the OAUGF. So we remember that in April 2024, the federal government had commenced a fresh audit of the 2.8 trillion fuel subsidy claim by the NMPCL. An audit firm, KPMG, had conducted an initial audit, reducing the claims from 6 trillion to 2.7 trillion. Now, there's a report that the audit will span from 2015 to 2021. Punch reported it at the time. Now, we also heard that we know that by May 30, after the president had announced that subsidy was gone, we saw the group Chief Executive Officer Mele Kyari, who had told the House correspondents that the federal government still owed the firm the sum of 2.8 trillion on petrol subsidy. And he said that NNPC footed petrol subsidy bills from his cash flow, and that so far the government has been unable to pay back that 2.8 trillion. He said since the provision of the 6 trillion in 2022 and 3.7 trillion in 2023, we've not received any payment from the Federation. That means that the federal government was unable to pay, and we continued to support the subsidy from the cash flow of the NNPC. So we are waiting for them to settle up the 2.8 trillion, and so that we know that subsidy is out. Okay. So now they are saying that they've not received any money. So an audit has to be carried out to ascertain that. But however, they said they have been able to pay some amount of money. I'm trying to get the amount here, about 1.something trillion into the Federation accounts. And investigations will still continue to see how.
I thought there was no money in the budget for this year's subsidies. So where are they going to get the money from?
No, NMPCL said they have been paying, but the government has not refunded them.
Okay, so still on the tax reform, I just have some response for the various parties. So the PDP was saying yesterday, I think it was the Deputy National Publicity Secretary, Ibrahim Abdullahi, was speaking yesterday, saying that he was wondering why the government is trying to rush up on this bill, that they need more time for clarity, consultations among relevant stakeholders before it is passed. That what is the hurry? There's no sinister motive. What's the hurry in passing this bill so quickly that they need to take out time to still consult widely? Also, Peter Obi, the candidate of the Labour Party, presidential candidate for Labour Party, also said he called for transparency in the proposed tax reform. He said there's nothing wrong in the tax reform, but it's important that we carry everybody along. He says that it's a critical issue. There is nothing wrong with it, but we must ensure that the reforms are subject to a robust public discourse and debate. So he's also advocating for more consultations.
Responded to that rush issue. He says that they've been at it for over a year, and they've consulted, they've written to state governors to present this bill and some state houses of assembly. For those that welcomed them, he cited Lagos State and even put up a committee within their for that engagement was held. Most states turned it down. They didn't even want to have it. So they've been at it and they are not rushing. They are still willing, upon the invitation of any state or house of assembly, to do that presentation for them again.
And in fact, what it even showed was that a lot of people a lot of these stakeholders don't read.
They don't read.
The governors didn't obviously read what it was about until they got there and they were disagreeing, just for them to end up agreeing after clarifications were made.
Most of us don't read. That's the truth. We don't care.
Agree to agree later.
Okay, Daily Sun, senators, reps beam searchlights on local governments. State of the nation, we either kill Nigeria or fix it, says Obi of Onitsha. Minimum wage, NLC vows to escalate action over Inwufuru's threat to sack striking workers. Hashtag end bad governance. IGP orders probe of alleged killings and arrest of protesters. Enugu Austrian firm formalized $100 million FDI to boost water infrastructure. Festac 6th Avenue. Authentic allottees accuse Omoniles of illegal land sales. Okay, story.
Okay, so let me do the IGP. So the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered the comprehensive investigation into claims by Amnesty International alleging police involvement in the death and arrest of protesters and the use of excessive force during the End Bad Governance protest that happened August 1st this year. And he directed commissioners of police in the affected states to submit detailed reports on the incident within 1 week. According to the first PRO, Lumuyiwa Adejobi, said the directive, of course, is to identify any deviation from the standard operating procedures and rules of engagement regardless of security agencies involved. In the statement, they also said that the police is committed to safeguarding citizens' fundamental rights, promoting rule of law, and improving operational standards based on constructive feedback. I am really hoping that this is done. It will ease a lot of frayed nerves, and we'll see that I hope it's done independently, as transparently as possible.
Yeah, so I found this story quite interesting. They said a group, authentic, genuine allottees of plots of land in Festac Phase 2, popularly known as 6th Avenue in Lagos State, they've debunked a publication in National Daily with the title, Festac Town Residents Petition IGP over Federal Housing Authority's violation of court order. So let me just break it down. There was a publication in the papers, and it was accusing the Federal Housing Authority of not listening to government or the courts, stopping them from demolishing properties on a particular parcel of land. And they're saying they are the residents of this area, and they have come together to make this publication to call government's attention to what the illegality that FHA was doing. Now, the real people living in the area say, we have no business with that publication. Those of us who really own the land here, who are living legally on this land, we're not part of this publication. The publication that you people see outside was written by a group who got this land illegally from Omoniles. And so they were the ones that came together and put this publication out, that they are aware that that particular land belongs to the Federal Housing Authority, and they have been putting out warnings to tell them to get off, you know, that particular land. So they have been demolishing those properties because those properties are there illegally. And that is how the cookie crumbled. You know, sometimes you read in the paper and just take it, you know, at face value.
Yeah.
So there's usually a lot of behind the scenes happening.
Okay.
So I'm happy that it came out as well.
Let's move on quickly to another story. Let's find a story we've not taken. Dozens killed in crowd crush at Guinea soccer match. Save the masses from hardship, avoidable death, says Archbishop Ugoji. Customs soldiers attack residents over video recording. Obi of interest to politicians, stop milking Nigeria, it will soon dry up. And foodstuff transporters expect soaring food prices this month, next year.
Yeah, so foodstuff transporters under the auspices of Amalgamated Union of Foodstuff and Cattle Dealers in Nigeria yesterday told Nigerians to expect skyrocketing food prices in December 2025.
Rejected.
So they spoke in a chat with Vanguard National President Mohammed Tahir, and he said the current pump prices of premium motor spirits, that's the PMS, and diesel were frustrating foodstuff transporters, and coupled with the serious extortion and double taxation members were experiencing daily on the federal highways. He said each trailer load of rice, beans, corn, and others from Sokoto to Port Harcourt cost 2.25 million. The same thing they spend to transport to other parts of the southern parts of the country. And all these things boil down to the final consumer who will bear the whole brunt because they are themselves will definitely want to make profit. So he says now Christmas celebration is fast approaching. The cost of foodstuff will skyrocket beyond what Nigerians are buying, and this will compound the hardship that they are facing already. And also prices will increase in the new year as well. Says we are concerned as Nigerians are suffering and cannot afford these prices. So he said there's huge money spent on transporting the foodstuff, including livestock, all around the country, and it's frustrating their business. So they are asking for help. They said that they are tracing the high cost to the double taxation, local and state governments, revenue collectors who will now mount roadblocks, you know, along the road, and the agueros as well. They say in some parts of the country, especially in the south east, even the drivers are southeast, southwest. The drivers are even beaten up, you know, and this is frustrating their business. So they are asking the federal government to help so that they themselves do not go to resort to strike, and that would affect everybody because we will not be able to eat.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review this morning. When we come back, we'll bring in our special feature. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.